Thank you. All right, so there'll be a safety briefing about the last one. Little like keep this warm. Little jumpsuits. Little orange jumpsuits. Yeah.
I know.
That's pretty, isn't it?
Hmm?
That's beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous.
That's pretty.
Aren't they pretty? Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
That's pretty orange too, though. Yeah, the green. But yeah, the littler one is more orange.
Yes. Yep.
Did you find the marketplace, Alice?
I went out there, I couldn't see him.
Can we bring in water bottles? Yes. Be here at 11:45.
That's the end of the ride.
Ride one of these things to work in the morning right here? Yeah, the green yeah, guys, these are pretty antiquated antiques right here. They're cars, you know, called man cars. They're 1920 vintage. The chrome one all with is 1926. The motor and Josh had about a 1940s in the back. So this is a circa 1920 transportation ready, so it sure is. You should maintain but keep it in, make sure nothing happens. Man, this one shut down in 1922. Remember, you heard, I told you that last time, was not telling you the truth right there. Yeah. The last time,
It's very convincing.
I hate to say that. He was probably talking about the other mines in Bisbee, not just one mine in Bisbee, yeah. I actually did the math one time. The last place they actually maintained this tunnel right here in this mountain was in January of 1944. And if you went to work, the last month it was open, and you became 18 years old, You'd be about 94 years old.
Okay.
So, and we're a bunch of old-time tour guys down here, but we're not quite that. Sure, guys. And here again, guys, this is the narrowest and darkest part of the tour. That's the reason I'm stopping here and talking to you a little bit, giving you time to let your eyes adjust, make sure everybody's comfortable down in here.
See the minerals?
Yeah, the tunnel, guys, do not look around here in here for any good mineralization. There's none. This is just a haulage tunnel to get from point A to point B. By 1915, in this mountain of copper ore bodies were so far back in there, they needed a main haulage level, because the men equipment way back in there to get that copper ore back out. So that's what we're sitting in right now, just a haulage tunnel. And before we get you out of here though, we'll go up to the old mining area, you can check the mineralization that's still in place. I'll talk a little bit about that, that's for sure. Now, is everybody comfortable in the back, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, nobody needs to run out here as fast as possible. Sometimes I feel like it.
Sharon's what makes it
You
okay.
guys are doing okay here, guys?
Just,
Somebody tell me.
Dallas?
What?
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay, we didn't know.
I think.
Okay, guys, here in about a minute, I'm gonna stop the train to go through an access door, so please stay on. And then we'll ride down here. It takes about 4 minutes to get to our first stop. So enjoy the train, guys.
dark and dirty.
Bring it up. Here we go.
said you would, when I pass your car stop, I'm gonna step on the left-hand side. Also, they were working, they see them coming way down there, so they put a bunch of rocks and one on the rail. When you hit this spot, boom, 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 the derail and slip right off the rail, right there. You can actually see the curvature of that handlebar. That probably happened to this one right there. But my favorite is, when he was occupied elsewhere, the bike was alone, some joker would sneak up with some axle grease and put it on the bottom of those handlebars right there. I'll let your imagination tell you the rest of the story right there. Now, you did not hear this on the Queen Mine Tour today. That also works here in 2023. Every time, the first time, 100%. No doubt about that. They even get down the earth in the first place to get to the minerals, they have to use a lot of high explosives to move that rock. But on the other hand, they could not come down here, just drill a bunch of holes anywhere they wanted to, dynamite it and blow this rock up to get it out of here. What would happen, guys, if you actually exploded this rock down in here? Right, you'd have rock flying everywhere, guys. You'd be knocking your timber support down. You may be bringing some of this mountain down on top of you. Maybe hurting your people in the back. So today we're all going to go back to high school 101 physics. Instead of explosion, we're going to learn about implosion, how they actually brought this limestone rock in on itself instead of shooting it out everywhere. It's really pretty simple and kind of cool. We'll walk through it step by step. Of all the holes drilled in that limestone face, folks, look right in the middle. You see a group of holes real close together, those 5 holes right there. They're going back 7 foot, each one of them, and that's called a 5-hole burn right there. That's simple pattern right there makes this whole thing collapse in on itself right here. Here's how that works. Always working from the very center hole. Miner, he put maybe 5 or 6 sticks of dynamite back in there with a 12-foot fuse hanging out of that center hole. The 4 holes right around it, guys, going back 7 foot also, are empty with nothing in them, believe it or not. All the rest of these holes in this limestone face, maybe 5 or 6 sticks of dynamite with 12-foot fuses hanging out. Now, he's got all their tools and equipment out. They're getting ready to time this blast, make it implode. First thing he does is walk up to the center hole, take that 12-foot fuse, and cut 18, 19 inches off of it. Why? That'll make it the shortest fuse of any up here. When lit, this hole in the center will detonate before anything else does. Their timing device, guys, let me get right there, from 1877 to 1975 was something as simple as a wooden board with a notch cut in it. That's all they needed. He takes that shortest fuse, slides it down that notch all the way to the bottom, and leaves a 1/2 inch sticking out, just about like that. Now the way he trims or cuts the rest of these fuses, ladies and gentlemen, is almost like a circular or pinwheel pattern radiating out from the center, keeps getting bigger and bigger. Right here on the right-hand side, he takes his next 12-foot fuse, slides it down that board, and simply cuts it off just a 1/2 inch longer than the one below it, guys. Always working that circular pattern. Next 12-foot fuse, slides it down there and does the same thing. Cuts it off just a 1/2 inch longer than the one below it. Any fuse he puts on this board from now on, guys, will be a 1/2 inch longer than the one below it right there. He may have a longer board, he may have a couple of them, no big deal. Now for time's sake, we'll pretend all the fuses are in that board, guys. To light these, he's gonna pick up what looks like a 4th of July sparkler. Correct name was hot wire igniter, but the slang name was spitter board and spitter. What the heck? Well, spitting or the shooting of the sparks out of your fuse is why they nicknamed it that. The spitter burns 1,200 degrees, guys, real intense heat. He could light this with a match or strike it like one, and always he lights it shortest at the bottom and each longer fuse after that. He gets all his fuses lit, he breaks that thin board and just lets them hang, tosses the spitter down, and what does human nature tell us all to do? Flee fast out of here, right?
Get on the bike.
Yes, I wouldn't get on that bike right there. You'd be suicide. Guys, actually had about 6 minutes to walk out of here. We weren't trying to hurt your workforce, you know. He'd walk down about where the train is at and around the corner. He wants to be out of the blast radius, but he wants to be close enough to listen for misfires. And here again, they weren't trying to hurt you down here, ladies and gentlemen. They wanted their men to come back tomorrow morning making money for their shareholders and their company. He also wanted the employees to take the weight and keep on taking that weight until absolutely couldn't take it anymore. So without any warning, snapping came in. Men working down below, unfortunately never saw it coming, they would hit them. That's why you're softer wood, guys. It's a tattletale early warning system. When your pine takes weight, guys, instead of snapping all at once, it'll try to absorb it. It'll start to sway. It'll groan. It'll creak. It'll pop. It'll crack. Wait for it to caves in. Plenty of time to get the men out there and get it safe. So the wood was a big deal. Big deal, still is. Guys, we came in today on the mine tour on a nice funky little old time antique train ride. That was the only mine in Bisbee like that, guys. The rest of them were like you see on TV with the big gallows or head frames up, dropping those guys right down to the center of the earth, it seems like. We have our own underground elevator and shaft right here, folks. It's real, but we do have the shaft built in and cement across, so don't look very much different. And the old one's cable still hooked up, I mean, it's still hanging up here, but it's not hooked up. But every time you came in and out of, bless you, came in and out of a vertical mine on one of these things right here, even including the mules. And how in the world would you get a mule on that? That's actually an 11-man cage right there, it sure is. That's what's, it's an official 11-man cage. No, never at the same time, yeah. We'll get to that in just a second right there. The guys on the surface, they take that mule, just like you see in the rodeos, run him into a corral, have two cowboys and the horses with ropes. One cowboy ropes that mule's back feet, the other cowboy ropes his front feet, horses separate and drop that mule, ties 4 feet together. Once it's tied together, they wrap them in cloth like a mummy. Why? So it can't squirm or kick. Because those cages, you don't see a whole lot of protection between that and that shaft wall. We've got 3 inches right there, so you don't want that mule to stick his foot out and get it sawed off right there. They put a little mask over his face, blindfold, so it wouldn't get scared. Drop it down, back it out, unwrap it and untie it and take it down to stake it. I've seen the pictures of guys and men doing this, and I've often thought I would not want to be the man to unwrap that mule. Man, they must have their own tricks, and that was pretty spectacular right there. But you never took answer that lady's question over there. Your real PPE or personal protective equipment came in about 1940. So you start seeing the charcoal respirators. But before that, it was up to you. And there was no legal obligation for the company to have PPE before that. So they would have to tell you it was dangerous to work there, but they didn't have to supply you with it. I know, that was mismining. That was all heavy industry in America at that time. Unfortunately.
Get the,
Yeah. Noise level too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
yeah,
Really loud.
stuff. Yeah.
My city.
Look at one.
Here's this big mountain, and somebody told you there's copper in it. How in the hell would you know where to dig a hole?
Any kind of anomaly, you start seeing little areas like that on the surface right there, or that little pretty little area right there. Anywhere there was a fault or an anomaly or a depression in the earth, you start investigating. They can core drill, hollow drill steels, and take samples for thousands of feet. Even in the 1890s, they were doing that. So, not good. And you got where your car is in the parking lot. You can look around. You got 3 different colored mountains right here in a real tight area. That's good. You're gonna stop and look right there. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, guys. There was a lady that asked me about a hook. At the last stop right there. Where's she at? Right there. Yeah. We're gonna jump back to where we were, man.